Hello students, this is the continuation of the previous video of lesson number 9. In the previous video, we saw that how the soldiers from different parts of India, they joined the revolt, that is from North India, South and in the central part. Now we will see further revolt of 1857 in Gujarat. So open page number 57. The 7th Battalion of the British Army broke into revolt in Ahmedabad, Gujarat in June 1857. So after the South, the revolt broke in Ahmedabad in Gujarat in June 1857. However, it was soon halted, but it stopped, उसको रोक दिया गया. Dahod, Jalod and Godhra of Panchmahal witnessed the skirmishes with the British army, and the three places Dahod, Jalod and Godhra of Panchmahal, they have war, they have लड़ाई, थोड़ी सी झड़पट हो गई, लड़ाई हो गई. विटनेस द स्किर्मिशेस मीन्स विद द ब्रिटिश आर्मी, ब्रिटिशर्स के साथ लड़ाई हो गई, फाइटिंग हो गई. द सोल्जर्स कुड कैप्चर गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसेस विद द हेल्प ऑफ द नेटिव्स बट वर सोन डिफीटेड. द सोल्जर्स दे कैप्चर, कब्जा कर लिया ऑन द गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसेस विद द हेल्प ऑफ द नेटिव्स, वहाँ के जो लोग थे उसकी मदद से, बट वर सोन डिफीटेड. The Naikadas of Panchmahal continued the rebellion almost for a year, and then the Naikadas of Panchmahal district, they continued the revolt for a year. Now turn your page, page number 58. Garbardas Patel, the headman of Anand in Kheda district, collected almost 2000 volunteers of the Koli and Naikada communities to join the revolt. Then a person named Garbardas Patel, who was from Anand in Kheda district, he collected 2000 volunteers which belonged to the community of Koli and Naikada to join the revolt. He was supported by Jivabai Thakur of Khanpur, Malaji Joshi and Krishnadas Dave, and this Garbardas was supported by another three persons named Jivabai Thakur, Malaji Joshi and Krishnadas Dave. However, the supporters of Garbardas were captured by the Britishers. Now those who were supporting this Garbardas, they were captured by the Britishers. Britishers ने उनको पकड़ लिया, tied to the cannon and were blown off with the cannon by ball fire. So the supporters were captured and they were tied to the cannon. तोपों के साथ उसको बांध दिया और blown off with the cannon ball fire. Garbardas was exiled to Andaman where he died, and the Garbardas who was the head, he was exiled. Exiled means उसको देश निकाल कर दिया, to Andaman where he died. The people of Chandaf village, which is 16 miles away from Idar, accepted the leadership of Nathaji and Yamaji and joined the revolt. Now after this Garbardas, the people of Chandaf village, which was far away from Idar, accepted the leadership of Nathaji and Yamaji and they joined the revolt of 1857. The British has camped at Nandana village between Okha and Baradi. The British commander of navy became impatient and he reached the fort of Bet Dwarka via the Bay of Bet. Now the Britishers, they were impatient, उन लोगों को बहुत जल्दी थी, and so they reached the fort of Bet Dwarka via the Bay of Bet. Donovan ordered an attack on the fort, and one of the Britishers, he gave order to attack the fort. किले पे आक्रमण करने का order दे दिया. The Waghres inside the fort had no such artillery to counter attack. Now inside the fort there were a community named Waghres and they had no such artilleries. Artilleries means बड़ी बड़ी बंदूकें, guns. They did not have such weapons to fight with the battle. At this time, the Wagir women came up with a very brave and innovative idea. So now when the Britishers attacked them, the Wagir women, they were very brave and they came up with an innovative idea. एक नए थिंग, प्रगतिशील विचार, इनोवेटिव आइडिया, एक अच्छा आइडिया लेके वो लोग आ गए. And what was the idea? They soaked the mattresses with water in which they could catch the cannonballs and cool them immediately. And the idea was they soaked the mattresses, जो गद्दा था, गादलू गद्दा था, उसको पानी में भिगो दिया, soaked with water, which through which they would catch the cannon balls, जो कैनन तोप का गोला था उसको पकड़ते थे वो भीने गद्दे से, and cool them immediately, वो ठंडा कर देते थे. This would enable the Wagir men to fight the battle without being hit by the cannon balls. And like this, the Wagir men, they fought the battle with the Britishers without hitting by the cannon balls. Now here, in the history of the world, such act of valor has been exhibited. So nowhere in the history, इतिहास में कोई भी जगह में such act of valor, इतनी बहादुरी का काम नहीं दिखता है. Wagir women were very bravely disarmed the cannonballs without worrying about their own life. And these Wagir women, they were so brave, इतनी बहादुर थी, that they disarmed the cannonballs, जो गोले थे, cannonballs थे, उसको disarm कर दिया, उसको कर दिया without worrying about their own life. अपना ज़िंदगी का भी उन लोगों को परवाह नहीं थी. They were not thinking about their own life. Their act of bravery was equivalent to that of Rani Lakshmibai. This woman was the Lakshmibais of Gujarat, and the act of this Wagir woman is compared with Rani Lakshmibai, the bravery of Rani Lakshmibai. And Rani Lakshmibai was the queen of Jhansi. In the same way, these Wagir women, they were the Lakshmibais of Gujarat. Cities of North Gujarat like Patan, Kheralu, Biloda, Mudeti, etc. broke into the revolt with the help of the natives. Then in North Gujarat also, all these cities, they also joined the revolt with the help of the natives. Apart from this, in December 1858, Tatya Tope stayed with his army in Panchmahal district of Gujarat, and when in north cities of North Gujarat, they joined the revolt. Apart from this, at that time in December 1858, Tatya Tope was there staying in the Panchmahal district of Gujarat. He had to escape to the forest of Valsad when being chased by the British army, and he was chased, उसका पीछा किया गया था, by the Britishers, so he escaped, वो भाग गया to the forest of Valsad. Now, end of the revolt. During the revolt, weapons and soldiers were supplied to the Britishers from England, Iran, etc. Now, when the revolt was going on, there was a need of weapons and soldiers, and these were supplied to the Britishers from England and Iran. The revolt had started on 10th May 1857, but by the end of June 1857, the Britishers were able to regain control on Banaras and Allahabad. So the revolt started on 10th May, but before the end of June, the Britishers, they got control, they again got the control on Banaras and Allahabad. Kanpur was recaptured by the end of July and Delhi in September 1857. So these were the places where the Britishers have lost their control, but in the end of June, they got control on Banaras, Allahabad, Kanpur and Delhi. Bahadur Shah Zafar and his queen Begum Zinat Mahal were imprisoned and exiled to Rangoon, the capital of Burma, where they died after few years. Their 3 sons were murdered. So Bahadur Shah Zafar and his queen, they were imprisoned, उनको जेल में भेज दिया, and exiled to Rangoon, उनको रंगून भेज दिया, देश निकाल कर दिया, which was the capital of Burma. And both of them, they died after few years, and they had their 3 sons. Their 3 sons were murdered. They were killed by the Britishers. Lucknow was recaptured in March 1858. Jhansi fell because of the treachery of one of the courtiers of Jhansi. So Jhansi also was now in the hands of the British, and this was because of the treachery, betrayal, disloyal, Vishwasghat kiya, one of the courtiers of Jhansi. As a result, Lakshmibai escaped towards Kalpi, where she died while fighting a battle with the British troops. So Lakshmibai escaped, वहाँ से भाग निकली towards Kalpi, and there she died while she was fighting a battle with the British army. Nana Sahib Peshwa escaped to Nepal after the final defeat. Now Nana Sahib Peshwa was also defeated, wo bhi har gaya, and he escaped to Nepal. It is believed that he lived in the Sinho village of Bhavnagar district of Gujarat, where he is believed to have died in 1902. And then it was believed, ऐसा माना जाता है, that he lived in the Bhavnagar district of Gujarat and have died in 1902. Now page number 59. It is said that Tatya Tope was captured due to the betrayal of one of his allies. Now how was Tatya Tope captured? उसको कैसे पकड़ा ब्रिटिशर्स ने? Due to the betrayal of his allies. एक unfaithful था, disloyal allies, that is a person was there who helped the Britishers for capturing Tatya Tope. According to the official documents, Tatya Tope was hanged on 18th April 1859, and one of the official document के हिसाब से he was hanged, फांसी दी गई उसको on 18th April 1859. However, as per the other sources, we come to know that Tatya Tope had managed to escape and someone else was hanged in his place. Then another source was there, कहीं और से ऐसा पता चलता है that Tatya Tope escaped before he was hanged, and in the place of Tatya Tope some other person was hanged. It is believed that he had spent the last years of his life in Navsari, and till he lived he spent his life in Navsari. Why was the revolt a failure? Now the revolt started but it was not successful. What were the reasons for the failure? The revolutionaries failed to retrieve the power from the Britishers due to the limitation, some of which were. So the revolutionaries who joined the revolt, they were not able to get the power from the Britishers because of the following certain limitation. The first was the rebels lacked coordination. जो लोग थे रिबेल्स, the person who was in the opposition, तो विद्रोही जो बड़वाखोर थे, rebels, they lack coordination, उन लोगों में एकता नहीं थी. There was an absence of centralized leadership. So centralized leadership was not there, एक ही person कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता था, डिसीजन नहीं लेता था. There was no provision of free enforcement of men, money and ammunition, and there was no provision, ऐसी कोई व्यवस्था नहीं थी. Reinforcement, process of encouraging or establishing new men, money and ammunition, that is dadu goro, weapons. The outbreak of the revolt happened way before the pre-planned date. As a result, the planning was disrupted and it alerted the British. In the starting we saw that the revolt broke out before the fixed date or before the planned date, and due to this the British were alerted, वो चौकन्ने हो गए, and the planning was made which was disrupted, उसको भंग हो गया, जो प्लानिंग किया था उसका भंग हो गया, वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ, बर्बाद हो गया. The revolt remained concentrated largely in North India. Many social reformers refrained directly or indirectly from joining the revolt. Then the revolt, it remained concentrated बहुत सारा largely in North India. North India में ज़्यादातर ये revolt चालू रहा. Many social reformers refrained directly. The social reformers थे, refrained, stopped themselves directly or indirectly from joining the revolt. So the social reformers, many of them did not join the revolt. This proves that the intellectual class did not support the revolt, and from this it is said that the intellectual class, जो लोग बुद्धिमान थे, उन लोगों ने revolt को support नहीं किया. Fourth, India is a country known for its regional diversity in language, food habits, dressing, etc. So our country is famous for diversity. And before the British rule, the people were ruled by regional dynasties. As a result, the sentiments of nationalism, belongingness to India as one nation had not developed either in people or in their leaders. So before the Britishers came to rule, the people were ruled by the dynasties. And due to this, the sentiment of nationalism, belongingness to India, that India is our country, we are Indians, India is one, was not developed in the people and also not developed in their leaders. And so the leaders, they either sided with British. So those who were the leaders, they took the side of the British or remained passive at the time of the revolt. And when the revolt was going on, they remained passive. Passive means inactive, idle. उन लोगों ने कुछ नहीं किया, निष्क्रिय रहे. The Sikh and the Gurkhas fought by the side of the British, which proved to be a major disadvantage for the rebels. Then the Sikh and the Gurkhas were there. They took the side of the British. उन लोगों ब्रिटिश के साथ लड़ने लगे. And this was a great disadvantage for the rebellions. The British had a superior army, weapons and military commanders compared to the rebels. Then the Britishers had superior army, the soldiers were superior, weapons were superior, the commanders were superior. Then the rebellions. All the leaders were fighting for regaining their power or territories lost to the British. And when the revolt was going on, the leaders who were there, they were fighting for getting their power or their territories, उनका एरिया, उनका जो क्षेत्र था उनको पाने के लिए लड़ रहे थे. They were not fighting for the freedom of their nation, but their fighting was not for the freedom movement. Now turn your page number 60. Effects and consequences. The revolt was not successful against the Britishers. However, it still ushered in a new era of change. So like this, we saw the different reasons why the revolt was not successful. But it is still ushered in a new era of change. Ushered means शुरुआत, प्रारंभ हुआ. In a change of new, a change of era of change. Company rule came to an end in India, and India came under the rule of the crown. So the first change was that the company rule came to an end, and now there was the rule of the crown. The interference in the internal affair of the princely state of India was stopped. So the princely states who were interference was there in their internal affairs in India was stopped. वो interference, दखलगिरी थी, वो बंद हो गई. The British government was compelled to change its policy towards India. The British government थे वो compel, मजबूर हो गए. They were forced to change the policies towards India. The salary, allowances and facilities given to the Indian soldiers or sepoys were increased. The salary, which was very low for the Indian soldiers, we saw that it was only ₹7 per month, that was increased. This revolt helped in invoking a feeling of nationalism in the people of India. And the one benefit because of this revolt was that it helped in invoking a feeling of nationalism. राष्ट्रीयता की भावना वो शामिल हुई in the people of India. So students, here we complete chapter number 9, and with the completion of this chapter we have completed the portion of first semester, that is chapter 1 to chapter 9. Now for homework, you have to write the answers of chapter 9 in your workbook.